Let's go over the login or the registration flow of how you get users to actually have access to your portal. And this could be one of the more complex things because you might have a variety of plugins on your website. And if it's a plugin where someone needs to log in, that plugin is likely creating a login form or a registration form of its own. WordPress has its own login and registration form. And as you guessed it, SureDash is going to create a login and a registration form. So you can actually use any of them that you want, but I'm going to go over doing this with what SureDash creates for you. So the most important thing though is a setting inside of WordPress which controls whether someone can register or not to begin with. So I'm going to go to the WordPress dashboard and then I'm going to go to settings, and it's underneath general settings and it's right here. It says membership. Anyone can register. If this box is not checked, your registration form is just not going to work, because with this unchecked, it means you have configured your website so no one can register to it. So if you want it so people can register, you can check this box like this and then scroll down and click on Save Changes. So this is one of the hiccups some people might run into because they go to the registration form and wonder why it's not working. And it's always pretty much because this box is not checked, and that's the way their website is configured. Okay, let's take a look at the SureDash settings. And there is this settings menu that says portal pages, and then over here it says select a login page, select registration page. So when you first activated SureDash, it created two pages on your website. One of them was named portal login, and then it configured that page and it added a login form to that page, and we're going to take a look in a moment. And also it created a registration page and it added a registration form to it, and then it pre-configured it here. So if you want to have a different way to log in or a different way to register, maybe your page builder has a tool and you want to have something hyper customized, you can simply use that tool, create a page, use that tool to create these login and registration forms, and then come here and then just choose which page that login or registration form appears. And that's because inside of SureDash, there are times that SureDash needs to direct someone to log in. So that means if everything's protected behind a login and someone tries to visit a page in the portal, it needs to know where the login form is. And that's what this is doing. And the same goes for registration. If you have, for example, your SureDash portals open and people can see discussions and they would like to contribute to a discussion, there's a bit of text that says, register. And so, and you could customize that text under text labels, but it's going to generate a link that takes them here. So this could go wherever you want. So I know a lot of SureDash users have a contact form plugin or a form builder plugin that also allows for user registration. So in that case, people want to use something hyper custom, they can do that. You have that kind of a flexibility here. Now, the only thing is you want to use a login and a registration form that can redirect someone when they log in or when they register to the portal. So it needs to have that redirect feature. And if it's a registration form, it also needs to be able to add the SureDash user role to that registration that someone fills out. Now, you don't have to worry about any of this out of the box if you want to use what SureDash offers. And let's take a look at that, and let's go ahead and experience it, going through the registration and seeing exactly what happens. So I'm going to go and visit pages, and this is where you're going to see the new pages: portal login, portal register, and it has it configured like this. So that lets you know this is what SureDash thinks is the login form, and this is what SureDash thinks is the registration form. Let's first take a look at the login form. You're going to see it's simply just a login form like this, but it is very customizable. So this is just a bit of text here. You can edit it. And this right here is the form itself. And you'll see over here on the right, there are options to change text strings, as well as lots of customization, social login, all of that, redirects. And it's already pre-configured when you use SureDash and activate it. But you can go through these settings. You can see right here, it also links to the registration form. So if someone lands on this login form and they don't have a login, it will say, well, here you can register. So you'll want to go through these settings to configure it exactly how you would like it to work. Now, the registration form actually has a bit more to it. I'll click on Portal Register, and that's because by default there's these other options here, and you don't have to have them there. So if you didn't want someone to create a password, you wanted to auto-generate one, you could delete this field if you want. So there's a bit more options here. So if you click into these, you can rearrange these fields as well. I think there's also an option here that you can add to make it so someone has to enter their password in a second time to confirm it. Yes, here it is, re-enter password. So say I wanted to add this re-enter password. That's good depending upon the demographic of who's registering for your community. There you have it. And so this as well has lots of different options. You can go here and look through them. Each of the fields, when you click into them, have different options, whether it's required or not. And so you can customize this how you want. And if there's a field that you don't want, so for example, you didn't want this re-enter password, you can click on it, click on these three dots, click on remove, and it's gone. And so you could click on this button. It says register now. You can change the text to something different. So I've just changed the text to join the community. And also this layout here of the registration form, you can design something entirely different. So if you wanted a layout where you have the form on the left and maybe a column on the right that might have some marketing messages, you can do that as well. So I'm going to save this change that I made. Then I'm going to click on view the page, and you might see this and say, uh-oh, something's wrong. Why don't I see my form? Well, the reason you don't see it is because you're logged in. But if you click on this logout button like that, then let me go back. You're going to see there is the registration form. And you can see right here, there's a link to the login form, and you can see it right there. And so let's go ahead, and I'm going to go and register right now, and then you'll see what happens when I click on join the community. Also, one thing I didn't mention, but it's easy to sort through. There's this checkbox, which is also optional. It says, I accept the terms and conditions. You can change the text, and what you would want to do is probably add a link right here to the terms and conditions page so someone can click on that and view them and they know what they're actually accepting. But when SureDash is activated, we have no way of knowing if you have a terms and conditions page or where it is. So that's something you'll want to do yourself. So I'm going to check this box, and you can see the only required fields are email, password, and checking this box right here. So I'm going to click on join the community. You might see some things popping up for my browser password managers. But what's going to happen is it's going to create the user account for me, and it's going to redirect me to the homepage of the portal. I'm going to click now. It logged me in, and I'm taken straight to the portal right here. And then the user can go to their profile, customize their profile photo, their information, their bio, and all of that.